And the question of the day is, what business decision seemed small at the time, but changed everything in the long run? Welcome, friends. I'm Fred. Here we talk about business investments, real life, and training, all from my personal perspective. Some decisions don't feel important when you make them. They don't look strategic. They don't feel powerful. Sometimes they even feel like a failure. But years later, you realize that small decision changed everything. For me, this happened when I was very young. Around the year 2000, 2001, I was about 21, 22 years old. I was born in 1979. At the time, I was running a very small manufacturing business. We made rollers for sliding gates. Most companies make these rollers from steel bars, but in our case, my father had the idea of producing them using cast iron. That decision came before the business was mine. We worked with a foundry in a town called Claudio in Minas Gerais, Brazil, a region known for metal casting. We created wooden molds, painted and prepared them, and for several years we produced those parts that way. Technically, the business worked. Later on, my parents retired, moved to the coast, and left the small factory under my responsibility. It was a very simple operation. Few machines, no CNC machines, bandsaws, drills, grinders, a classic small workshop. I stayed there for about 3 years, trying to make it work. And here's the key point: I had experience in production. I had been working there since I was 14 years old, but I had zero experience in business management. I didn't understand margins. I didn't understand cash flow. I didn't understand what real profit actually was. On paper, it looked like we were making money. But when you add all the costs, there was no profit left at the end of the month. I couldn't see that at the time. I was too young. Slowly, the situation got worse. Debt started to grow until one day there was no way forward. And I had to make a very hard decision. I closed the business. At the time, that decision felt like nothing. It felt like failure. It felt small. It felt like the end. But today, I know it was one of the most important decisions of my life. Closing that business forced me to reflect. I realized something very simple. Every month, I was dealing with dozens of clients, 50, 60 delivers, constant checking, constant complaints if anything went wrong, high effort, high stress, low margin. Then I looked at my father. He had real estate, and suddenly something clicked. He had one client per property, one person paying, one relationship, one contract. That idea completely changed how I saw the business. I thought, what if I spend 1 year building something and then deal with only one client? Yes, the risk would be higher. Yes, the responsibility would be mine, but the quality of life would be completely different. So, instead of many small clients, I choose to focus on one well built asset at a time. I started slowly, one property, then another one, each one unique, each one well located. Over time, the sum of those decisions created diversification. not through quantity, but through quality and time. That decision, made by a 22-year-old, felt small. At the time, I had no idea where it would lead. I didn't even know exactly what business I would enter next. But that single decision shaped my entire future. I, it taught me something very important. Hard work alone is not enough. Effort without intelligence doesn't scale. Merit matters, but only when good ideas meet hard work. Now, I want to hear from you. What decision seems small in your life but changed everything later on? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video.